How's it going, everybody? Today I'm going to show you all how to install a dash cam in your Jeep Wrangler. I just got this about 2 days ago, and I've always had dash cams in my cars, and I've always done it the same way. It's a bit different from what I've seen online before. Most people like to run a super long cable from the dash cam up here through some pillar, down this pillar, up here, and do an add a fuse. I don't like doing it that way. It takes too long, too much cable, pulling trim pieces apart. So I'm gonna show you guys the way I do it. What I like to do is use pretty much any dash cam, whatever you have available. I've used this one for the last few years. It has a GPS on it, so it'll actually tell you how fast you're going. So if cop says you're speeding, you have proof if you're not. These are the cables I use. Pretty much what it is your connector type. This one on my camera actually has a mini USB. Looks like it's a little in-out converter here from 12 volt to 5 volt for the charger, and then two little wires here. I can grab that. 2 little wires. I'm gonna strip these out a little bit bigger so they're easier to work with. Probably actually cut some of this cord length down because you don't need it that long. I have these pins here that I will be soldering onto each of these little tiny wires. For that, of course, you need some soldering iron, all that. I'm not a soldering expert, so if I make mistakes, don't judge me. There's a lot better videos out there on how to actually solder things. Don't listen to me on that. So coming around here, I'll show you what we're gonna do to get our power. Pretty much every modern vehicle has this. Let's go get our little trim kit here. Let's go this one. Every modern car has an auto dimming mirror. Well, these are powered. So if we pop the back of this off, just put it in there, twist. Looks like, yep. Really hard to do with one hand. Gotta sit you down for a second. There we go. Wires. Now I'll get my multimeter to check, but typically, see if I can get a good angle here on it. Typically, that pink and yellow cable right there, focus, that pink and yellow cable right there should be power, and this black should be our ground, so live and ground. So what we'll do is when we get those pins soldered onto those little wires, we're just gonna shove them in there, straight into the plug. Plug it back into this, just tuck your wires up, super short cable right here, and we'll mount the dash cam right there. That's our plan. Okay, I'm gonna get soldering these in, and I'll show, plugging those pins in here and show how it works. Or actually, I'll grab my multimeter first. And yeah, show you that those actually have power, and they should be powered with the vehicle. So this is not a full-time power. You will have to have the vehicle on in order for the dash cam to be running, which is completely fine for my usage. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so what I'm gonna do here is this cable is way too long, right? That's a pretty short distance it needs to go. Since we're plugging right into the mirror, so we have to use this extension here. So this one here, I'm going to make fairly short so it's less cable to hide. I don't want to cut off too much, but let's cut off about there. Let me go ahead and strip this guy here. How to do this, been a while, sorry guys. More than that. Okay, grab these two little wires, give us some space there. Strip them out. That's pretty good right there. Okay, now you can see much shorter cable. We need two of these pins here. Just break a few of those off. 1, 2. Come on. Okay. And I don't know if you guys can see this. I'm just gonna show it well on camera or not. But it actually has a little cradle that you stick the little wire in, and that's where you can solder it in there like that. We might actually pinch it with a little bit of pliers to make sure it sticks. The holes makes this a little easier for us, so we'll go ahead and stick this red wire here first. I'm sorry if this is not the greatest camera angle for everybody. Let's see, the best way to do this is maybe put it in here first. It has been a while since I've done this. I have not had a new vehicle in a little while. There you go. Just like that. Now we'll do our other pin. That worked out just fine. Get that between the pliers right there. Nice and soft. Stick our... There we go. And that's looking good. But we want these two staying better because this is not going to hold up very well. Looks pretty good. I'm going to touch this up a bit. And so now we'll get a little bit of our solder here. Get this in a good spot to hold. Like I said, I'm not a soldering expert here. Make fun of me all you want in the comments. It's fine. This has worked for me in the past. I bought this sheet for like, I think 20 bucks off Amazon, and I've used it a handful of times. Not a whole lot. I don't solder a lot of stuff. All right, let's get a little bit of solder here. We're just gonna melt that on there. It's really all we're doing is melting this on the wire, just to try and melt it in there so it stays. And like I said, I'm not a soldering pro here, but hey, it works, right? Hey, that looks okay to me. Yep, I think that's gonna work. Perfect. Okay, let's go back in the vehicle and plug these in the dash cam. See if it works. Let's go. Okay, camera plugged into the plug. Accessory power. Video mode. Camera turns on. Okay, guys. I'm back here on another day. What I did to make this work is it looks like I got the positive working. I don't know what's up with the ground, but I think it was a ground problem because as I wiggled the pin, it started working. So what I ended up doing was I took just a little bit of my solder, like literally like a tiny little piece. I'm talking like 2 millimeters or something. And I actually put it inside the negative pin, not the negative pin, the ground, and then I just pushed my little prong back in there, and then now whenever I turn the car on, the camera comes on. So that's all it took. So I don't know if it's just my wiring is a bit more a bit deeper than everyone else's, But yeah, this worked. Most of you probably won't have to add that little piece there. Just shoving the pins in like I did should just work. But yeah, it's working. I'm gonna go ahead and button this all back up and try it out once it's all. I'm gonna try and hide this cable up there the best I can. And then yeah, I will bring y'all back when it's done and show you the finished product. Cool. Okay guys, finished product. The little door doesn't close all the way because of how much cable I shoved in there. But to me, this looks all right. I took that big converter piece. You can see it up there. It's kind of tucked up. There's like a little shelf up there. I'm gonna get some adhesive for that later so it stays. Other than that, that's a pretty easy, inconspicuous look, I think. I think it looks pretty good. I'll show you here. Accessory power on. Camera boots right up. Power, recording. Pretty good spot for it. Power off. You have to open the door once and close it. Low power, shuts off on its own. That's it. That's how you install a dash cam wired in through the auto dimming mirror, rear mirror. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments and I'll try and help you out as best I can. Cool. See ya.